What's going on, bread chasers? My name is Josh and today we're talking about dividend investing. And this is exciting because investing in dividend stocks is one of the most popular ways to generate passive income. The type of income where you can lay out on the beach, relax, and money's just flowing into your bank account without any effort. Dividend investing is the strategy of buying specific stocks that pay dividends in order for you to generate regular passive income. Sounds very straightforward, right? Essentially, anyone can jump in and potentially make money doing this. Now, I don't want you to get the wrong idea that you'll be able to get rich quick or anything, because that's typically not the case. According to experts, Warren Buffett, etc., investing in the stock market should always be for the long-term gain. In the news, you hear a lot about how the rich stay rich. And investing in dividend stocks is an example of why that occurs. These people put their wealth to work and they own things that make them more money. Now, just to be clear, money isn't everything. I'm not saying money buys happiness, but poverty certainly can't buy anything. So that's why on this channel, I discuss financial freedom, investing, online business, and entrepreneurship. So if this is your first time here, welcome to Bread Chasers. I'm so glad you stumbled upon this video, and hit the like if you find anything at all to be helpful. This is all free information, and don't forget to subscribe for future videos. As beginners, it can be difficult figuring out, where to start, what to do. How can I get started with dividend investing? You may be in the same position that I was when I first got started. I didn't have a mentor, I didn't have a financial advisor. Instead, I just had to use the free resources available, which is exactly what you're doing right now. And that's great. Let's just first go over the basics. A dividend is a payment from a company on a regular basis. This could be annually, quarterly, or monthly, and companies do this as a thank you to their investors for owning their stock. And many times you find these companies are well established, they've perhaps been around a little while, and paying a dividend is a good incentive to get investors like you interested. Now, some companies don't pay dividends. Why might that be? The reason is because they'd rather reinvest those profits back into their business. So let's just take Amazon, for example. Everyone knows Amazon. Amazon has been expanding rapidly for years. They are still expanding so much, and their cash is better used to grow the business rather than pay dividends to shareholders. Microsoft, however, is an example of a dividend paying stock. And let's take a look at the past 5 years. We can see a good bullish trend here with their stock price. It's increased from $41 all the way to $155, and that's a 267% increase. That's awesome. So in addition to this growth, Microsoft has a 1.26% dividend yield. This tells us that they will pay out 1.2% of the stock price to shareholders every year, which is approximately $2. Now, Microsoft pays quarterly, and last quarter they paid out 51 cents per share. So, hey, let's have some fun with this. Pretend we want to add an extra $100 to our bank account every month. All right, so one way to do that is to actually just go ahead and buy 600 shares of Microsoft, and every quarter you get around $300. Now, that might not be the smartest thing to do. Buying 600 shares of Microsoft costs around $90,000. You could start by purchasing just one share, and over time you can keep building this up to the point where you get higher dividend payouts, passive income. Now, just like anything else, there's risk. There's a lot of risk with dividend investing, just investing in the stock market in general. Companies can change the dividend payout anytime. They can increase it, decrease it, or they could just stop paying dividends altogether. Companies can go bankrupt, and you can lose your hard-earned money. So I just want to make that very clear that this is a risky thing to do. And just like anything else, it's very important to do your own research. If you're looking at a company, take a look at the stock price over time. Take a look at the dividend payout history before making any decisions. Make sure you take your time and look at things from all angles. You could find a company with a high paying 5 to 6% annual dividend, but if the stock price is decreasing, it's counterintuitive. Let me just jump into some pros and cons associated with investing in dividend stocks. So number one, you pay less in taxes because if you use the long-term capital gains tax, it'll be less typically than your standard income tax for a regular job. Number two, a pro is, the history of paying dividends can give you an idea of what to expect in the future. Number 3, dividends can provide a reliable stream of passive income, and I'd say this is similar risk to real estate in my opinion. And here are some of the cons. Number 1, metrics of growth not always connected to future dividend payouts. In other words, nothing is guaranteed with dividend payouts. And number 2, dividend payouts can be deceptive and give a false impression on how a company is doing. Sometimes companies manipulate the numbers. Number 3, taxes do eat away at your returns, with the exception of the Roth IRA. And I have a whole video explaining the Roth IRA, so make sure you go and check that out when you get some free time. And I know some of you might be thinking, isn't it important to diversify your portfolio to reduce risk? And yes, that's 100%, I agree with that. One way to go about diversifying your portfolio is by investing in index funds or ETFs that pay out dividends. One example of a good ETF is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. They pay out a dividend, and there are so many others out there, so make sure you do your research. I'm not a certified financial expert, but you may be interested in checking out simplysafedividends.com. I'm not associated with them, but this site allows you to build up a dividend portfolio with their assistance. This assistance isn't cheap, by the way, but they do offer a 14-day free trial for you to test the waters. So thank you so much for watching this video. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Peace.